In the 1800s, Michigan was a goal, a destination for the enslaved. Their journey often brought them to Second Baptist Church in Detroit and a chance to ride the Underground Railroad to a better life. The passage was steep, narrow, and dark, yet thousands of freedom seekers made their way down steps just like these into Croghan Street Station. This was one of the last stops of the Underground Railroad into Canada, right here in Michigan. Not all of them emerged into the sunlight of freedom. After the passage of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850, allowing the government to find and return the enslaved, freedom meant a boat ride further north into Canada. God's gonna trouble the water. Disembarking on the banks of a new life. Eventually, the formerly enslaved and their descendants migrated right here to Buxton, Ontario in the 1800s. This is one of the sites where they established their churches, their community, this school, and homes housing over 1,000 freedom seekers.
So when you arrived, you received 50 acres. You had 10 years to pay it off. Your homes had to be a certain size. There was a court of arbitration. There was no alcohol. So Reverend King, the founder, put a lot of rules in place because he firmly believed that if blacks were given those same opportunities as whites, they could become self-sufficient and self-sustaining.
They worked the land, built businesses, and when the time came, fought in the Civil War in the 102nd Colored Infantry in Michigan. Preserving it all is the curator of Buxton's museum and occasional actress in her town's history.
They are free! They are free!
Shannon Prince is a direct descendant of Buxton's earliest settlers, never wanting to live anywhere else.
You know, I married the boy next door, and we've been here all of our life. And when we had children, they went away to school, and now they return to have their families here. So that, you know, and that's that next generation who will continue the rich legacy that has been entrusted to us by our ancestors.
Thousands come from all over North America and Canada each year just to celebrate Buxton. The first homecoming gathering happened right on this site, right around that old pear tree. 100 years later, descendants still return to this site to celebrate their roots.
I connect with all of my relatives that come from Georgia, from Texas, from Detroit, from Southfield, and it's just a great celebration just to be with your family.
I grew up in Buxton. You know, I ended up going away to university and came back to this area. Since I've been back, it's definitely felt like home. You know, it's important to be able to recognize your roots and to understand and to be able to recognize the importance of the history that you have.
It's just important to keep the story alive and the successes of Black people, you know, and how by hard work and sacrifice they built this community, and it's still thriving.
Direct descendant Juno Robbins believes there's strength in that history.
As Black people, I think we can do for self. I think there's no excuses. So much has been thrown against us, but when we have the ability to do better and when we want to do better, we often do better, regardless of what comes our way.
Craig Shreve, a best-selling author, is one of Buxton's successful descendants. He chose to have his book signing here in the one-room schoolhouse that once made Buxton famous.
The school here was famous for the quality of its education, and people actually came here to study the way that people were teaching here.
His recently published book, African Samurai, is the true story of a former 16th century slave who eventually became the first foreign-born samurai. Shreve compares his novel with the fortitude of the people of Buxton.
Definitely, I think my background from Buxton did kind of affect the way that I looked at the story, because I've always thought of the history of Buxton as the history of Black people who are given an opportunity. I mean, I was given a talk the other day, and I said that Black history exists everywhere there are Black people. So all of our stories are important, and yes, especially so in the face of you know, some efforts in certain areas to try to diminish that.
PhD student Brian Maxey draws strength from his family's legacy.
And so when you see it just keep going back and back and back and back and back, you're like, I'm from here. Like this is ours. So like we not only do we belong, like we really belong. We built this as much as anybody else, if not more. So that's what it pushes me to just keep building on that.
All these stories reflective of a resilience of the people of Buxton.
It's joyous. A lot of work, a lot of emotions, as you can imagine, as I'm crying now. It's wonderful this year because it is our 100th to see so many people that I've not seen before. And I know our ancestors who, started this are just, beaming down from heaven right now saying, yes, that legacy has continued.
From Buxton, Ontario, I'm Lori Pinson, Fox 2 News.